What's up, guys? Jason of New Age Revolution, back with the second part of the two-a-day that I decided to do today. That's right, we put out a custom Arn Anderson LJN XOX Random Treasures masterpiece. We did that video just a few minutes ago, and now I've just come down here because I'm not really prepared to do any of my regularly scheduled programming, like Wrestling with the Past or whatever happened to. I've got ideas, and they're coming. But I haven't made a video in a while, so I just want to bust out two, just to keep it flow going, right? So I've talked about this before, and I love talking about it, so I can talk about it in great length. But my television watching is strictly prohibited to 80's stuff, you know, just classic stuff, whether it's wrestling, whether it's television shows. I'm currently finishing up the final season of Different Strokes, and I will come on and do a full-on review of that. Followed by Different Strokes, I'm going to be watching Growing Pains with Seinfeld going in the background. Not in the background, I stare at that show every time it's on. I mean, after I watch Growing Pains, an episode or two, as I'm going to bed, I'm going to throw on Seinfeld and just watch it. It's been too long since I've watched Seinfeld. It's been maybe a year and a half, 2 years since I've watched it, and I gotta bring it out again. So Growing Pains will be after Different Strokes. And then, like I said, when maybe 3 nights a week, I put on some wrestling and, write some stuff down for Wrestling with the Past. And because I told you, and when we did a night in the life of the New 80's Revolution, you saw that, for physical reasons, my back, I sleep on a couch. In fact, when I went to Baltimore, the day of the show, I woke up so stiff and so much in pain and crooked. Like when my back spasms or whatever, I kind of like walk like an S. I'm legitimately crooked. And oh my goodness, I thought that if the back didn't loosen up before the show started, it was going to be a mess. But it did. It usually does when I'm in the vehicle, when I'm in the truck driving somewhere. For some reason, my back loosens up. Okay, whatever. So I can't sleep in a bed. And it's not an expensive mattress. I've bought expensive mattresses. I've bought cheap mattresses. I've bought feather beds. I've bought mattress toppers. Forget it. The only thing that helps is sleeping on a couch. So I sleep on the couch. And so my whole night is all mine, beginning at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And so it's just, I get to run through, classic DVDs, television shows on DVDs that I own. Well, recently, and by recently I mean last Halloween, I think I started. Around last Halloween, last Christmas, I started watching movies. Movies that I own, movies that I will go out and buy. And I've been putting more of a focus and an interest back into movies. And, they're still my genre. They're still 80s. They're still horror. I absolutely have no problem and have been enjoying actually streaming some Shudder movies. And then going, and usually Walmart has Shudder DVDs for like $9.99. And if I like the movie, I'll just grab it, even on DVD, for $10, just because I collect physical media. I just have to have it. And the channel's weird because it's been coming full circle, because the YouTube channel started with Blu-ray collecting. I started a Blu-ray collection 6 years ago when the channel started. I didn't have any Blu-rays. I was started to trade or swap out all my DVDs for Blu-rays, and I started watching Blu-ray pickup videos and reviews and stuff like that. So that's kind of how the channel started. And then I got away from it, and now I've swung back to movies. So I'm way back into, new releases and 4Ks and going to Target and Best Buy on Tuesday to see what's out, which is sad because that physical media world is taking a horrible turn for the worse. It's disappearing. The movie sections at these stores are getting smaller and smaller, it seems, by the week, which is awful to think about. But, you know, that's what Amazon is for and things like that. So I have watched, you know, a few things that I wanted to talk to you about. And I figure maybe once a week I'll just come on and just maybe highlight a few movies that I've watched, you know, over the week, or maybe I'll do it every couple of weeks, whatever. But so here's some stuff that I own. I've bought all three of these in the past, let's say, 6 or 8 months. And they get cataloged into the collection, and then they just sit there. They sit on a stack of need-to-watch movies. And I don't put them back in the collection until they're watched, right? Because I'm insane. So I finally got around to watching all 3 Beverly Hills Cop movies. And I was 66 2/3 happy. That's not Steiner math. I liked 2 out of the 3 movies. Beverly Hills 1 and 2 are fantastic, and they're adult-ish to a degree, right? Eddie Murphy at this period of time is fantastic. Beverly Hills Cop 1 was 84. Beverly Hills Cop 2 was 87. And unfortunately, Beverly Hills Cop 3 was 94. And so 1 and 2 bring the 80s vibe and bring a solid, above average Eddie Murphy to the table. I mean, this is, above average is an understatement. This is when, you know, Eddie Murphy is getting is really trying to become a movie star. And you can see it in part 1 and part 2. Part 3 feels awful. Part 3 feels, when I was watching part 3, it immediately begins with the over-the-top gag scenes. Like Naked Gun, right? Naked Gun is a spoof movie. Well, Beverly Hills Cop 3 has a little bit of that vibe. There's just silly Naked Gun style stuff going on. And it's goofy. It just totally takes a different turn. I don't know if it's directed by the same person as the other ones. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to see. I cannot see it. Directed by John Landis. So John Landis directed part 3. And Martin Brest, whatever, I don't care. But John Landis got it wrong. Part 3 is just no good. But you know, it's okay. But Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 are actually good movies. Part 3 is silly. But you know, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to own these things. I don't care. I'll never care that physical media is a waste of money. I guess technically it is. I could probably have watched all 3 of these for free somewhere, but I think this was only like $14 for the 3-pack. So I'm always going to do this. This is never going to end unless the format disappears, like literally disappears. But I'm never going to stop buying physical media. The other one I watched from, what is this? How do you say this? Kino Lorber. Yeah, Kino Lorber. It's the studios, Kino Lorber. They have the little KL there. They look good on a shelf. Anyway, My Boyfriend's Back. This was 1993, and I love it. This is such a silly, over-the-top movie. I had a lot of fun watching this. You know, this guy basically dies and immediately comes back from the dead. But he's not a zombie. He's kind of a regular guy, and slowly starts to decompensate. But the silly part is that everybody knows he's dead. You know, his parents are just happy that he's back, and you know, his mom, you know, kills somebody so that he can eat his brains or whatever. I don't know. But like, you know, he's the dead kid that goes to school, and his ear falls off when he's making out with the chick, and you know, they just welcome him back as the dead guy. But then he starts to decompensate, and you know, just the shenanigans begin. He has to go to the prom with this girl, and that's kind of like his dying wish before he really, truly just, you know, really goes away for good and reburies himself or whatever. But anyway, my boyfriend's back. Fun stuff. I got to see, so his name is Andrew Lowry, who plays Johnny Dingle, right, the dead kid. One of the extras is a cool little interview with Andrew Lowry, and you know, so he talks a little bit about the movie, and that was fun to see. I'm not usually an extras guy, but cool little interview with the star. My boyfriend's back is like less than $15 on Amazon. This one was, I don't remember, maybe $15, but somebody had recommended that when I started talking about Televised Terror, the made-for-TV horror pack that I bought, somebody said go get Dark Night of the Scarecrow because it's an awesome movie. And I talked about it a little bit in Baltimore, but here it is, Dark Night of the Scarecrow on Blu-ray is a 1981 made-for-TV movie and aired on CBS. And the extras have actual 2 commercials for the CBS broadcast, which was awesome to see. You get to see the old logo. You get to hear the voice announcer going, "Tonight on the CBS movie." And so that was, I love that. That little stuff like that pops me every time. Dark Night of the Scarecrow, you've got a fella named Charles Durning. Actually, you got a fellow named Larry Drake who plays Bubba. You see, and Bubba is you know, kind of okay. There, what do you call Bubba? I mean, Bubba is a big adult child, let's say mentally, okay, and he makes friends with this little gal there, who's played by Tanya Crow, and the townsfolk don't like Bubba because he's simple, and so they decide to kill him because they think that he hurt little Mara Lee Williams, little Tanya Crow, this little girl here. They think that Bubba hurt her. In reality, Bubba saved her from being hurt. So the townsfolk decide to go ahead and kill him, because that's what you do. And so they do. They do. But Bubba is hiding. See, Bubba knows that the townsfolk are coming to get him, so he hides as he dresses up as a scarecrow and hides in his cornfield, right, as a scarecrow. Well, the fellas, they sense that it's Bubba standing there in the scarecrow get-up, so they unload on the scarecrow. Well, you would think that's it, but I don't think so. You know, some weird happenings going on in this town to the bad guys. The bad guys are getting their comeuppance, and we don't know who's doing it. Could it be could it be Bubba's mom? You know, could it be another person? Could it be another person? Or for the love of Pete, could it be Bubba? Right? Well, you'll find out if you watch The Dark Night of the Scarecrow, a CBS 1981 CBS made-for-TV movie. So there you go. Those are the 3 fun movies that I've been watching, and tonight is going to be some Different Strokes. I'm up to episode 6 of 19 for the final season. Lots to talk about with that show. For me, it started off nostalgic, then flat, and then it has climbed back up again. Season 6, 7, and 8, or maybe just 6 and 7. The jury's still out on season 8. I'm not loving it. They've redecorated the house. The person who was playing Mr. Drummond's wife only lasted 1 season. Now they have a new wife. Season 8 is weird. It might be one of those jump the shark seasons, as they talk about. But anyway, we'll review it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about why it started to climb back up for me around the end of the run. And then we'll get into growing pains. But, okay, so if you like the movie talk, let me know and I'll do more of it. If you don't like it, if this was a complete waste of 14 minutes and 45 seconds, then I'll never do it again. But thanks for listening anyway, and we'll talk to you later. Good night now.